Hello, John.
Hello, Oliver.
I think it was Shakespeare that said, "Conscience makes cowards of us all."
Yeah, he said, conscience doth make cowards of us all. And, and he was very observant because he was considered by people that have studied Shakespeare and the sort of plays he wrote that he was actually, his parents were Catholics and that he was a Catholic. But it was during the Reformation, which was the persecution of Catholics in Britain, with the monasteries destroyed. So he did this in the like that way, and he also did it in Hamlet, for example, where Hamlet says to one of the Oratio, it says there's more things in heaven and earth that anyone understands, something like that. So he used expressions in his plays, and that was one powerful one that he mentioned about conscience doth make cowards of us all, because we all have a conscience, but it's like everything else. If you don't listen to it, you eventually go down a road that leads to what they call perdition. We don't hear enough about it in the Catholic faith at the present time, but when I was young I heard plenty about it, and missioners had a great habit of reminding you of these things to keep you on the straight and narrow. And so the fact that you start leading what you describe as a good time, which usually means excessive drinking, seeking pleasure in various situations, and having no sense of responsibility, especially if you're away from the parents and the sort of checks and balances that in a proper home is provided, and which sometimes in some homes is never provided, but society and one's friends are a good help there when I was young. But now that's fragmented. In a lot of situations, marriages break up and don't last, and children then are even more at risk from the point of view of going down the wrong path. But even in families where the husband and wife are still together, and even though they've been baptised and made their first Holy Communion and confirmation, they're lost, because I noticed in the churches at the present time, people that are making their first Holy Communion and confirmation, they're brought in, their parents into the church at different times, even in the local church that I attend. They've been brought in twice so far, and they're not making their first Holy Communion until next April or May. And the idea is to try and get the parents to come to the church, and then the children have been often brought up to the altar and encouraged to sort of know their faith. But the funny thing is, after that business of them being obliged to go, you never see them then after that at Mass, and the churches are only a quarter full at the very most, and maybe even less. So the majority are not attending Holy Mass. And also at fault here is the Gaelic Athletic Association, the GAA, because they often have a lot of young people playing matches when they should be at Holy Mass. In every town and village I see it, and in every town and village, even when I was down in Knock, I saw this old nonsense about supporting this team or that team in the final or the semi-final, whatever it is. There seems to be nothing but emphasis on sport as being something like
Sport is the new religion.
well, now there we go. But it's not a religion. It's you won't get anything to benefit you from the point of view of giving you sound help. Running around the pitch after a ball is not going to do anything for you. I played football myself, not when I was that young, because there was not that emphasis on the nonsense. But to spend your time running after a ball and think that this is life, it's not life. It's better to be active, all right, but there's other activities that a person can indulge in that doesn't necessarily mean missing mass. And so they are missing mass, and the number of young people at mass is nearly zero. So they're lost, and if they don't nourish that end of what they are, their conscience for a while will make cows of them, but as they go down the path of perdition, in other words, the indulgent self satisfaction and selfish way that they go down, it's me, and so they lose respect for themselves and for those that they encounter. It applies to women, it applies to girls and boys and men and women. They lose respect for themselves, and they're not reminded of that important aspect of their lives. Don't lose respect for yourself. And when you don't, and when you try to practice those virtues, joy comes into your life, not this temporary, false, whatever it is that you think you're indulging in. And this jollity, this false jollity, this loud laughter. This is what Shakespeare said again, the loud laughter that spoke the vacant mind.
The loud laughter?
The loud laughter that spoke the vacant mind.
Okay.
You hear it, I've heard it myself, and they think the louder the laugh, that the more enjoy themselves. It's pathetic. There's only one way to benefit, is not to let the noise of the world and permanent noise. I see young people, they're permanently, noise is all they seem to indulge in, and they have these phones, and their friends are on phones, and they have lost the ability to talk to their neighbour. I've seen even relatives passing my door and with phones and something in their ear. So they're not communicating with anyone except something in the phone. Maybe somebody in China somewhere or some other country, and that's not dealing with reality. That's escapism.
Thank you very much, John.
You're welcome.